So, hello everyone, and welcome again to this edition of AI Governance Weekly with myself, Gavin. And as usual, in the land of AI governance, it's been a dramatic, crazy week. Let's dive in. So, it looks like the Brussels has just blinked. The EU's landmark AI Act, the world's toughest AI law, is getting watered down after big tech and the Trump administration turned up the heat. And we're talking about a complete 180 from what they promised just 4 months ago. So here's what's happening. The Financial Times recently broke the story, and it's about the European Commission now proposing to pause parts of the AI Act. We're talking about a 1 year grace period for companies breaching high risk AI rules, plus delayed fines for transparency violations pushed all the way to August 2027. Now, the Commission will decide on this simplification package on November the 19th. But get this, in July, Commission spokesperson Thomas Regnier literally said, "Let me be as clear as possible. There is no stop the clock. There is no grace period. There is no pause." 4 months later, they're discussing exactly that. So, what does this actually mean for the companies building AI? AI Act originally came into force in August 2024, but it's rolling out in stages. Some bans on really dangerous AI, like social scoring, already took effect in February. Big Wave was supposed to hit in August 2026, covering high risk systems in things like hiring, lending, healthcare, and policing. But here's the catch: companies like Meta, Apple, Google, and Microsoft have been pushing back real hard. Meta even threatened to withhold its latest multimodal AI models from the EU market entirely. Apple said the same thing about its Apple Intelligence features, and it worked. Brussels is basically backing down, which means if you're building AI tools for the European market, you might get breathing room you weren't counting on. This also creates a whole new layer of uncertainty because nobody knows exactly what the final timeline will look like until November the 19th. And even then, it needs approval from all EU member states and parliament. So let me break down what's actually being proposed here. The AI Act classifies AI systems based on the risk from banned entirely to high risk to minimal risk. High risk covers stuff like AI that makes hiring decisions, approves loans, or diagnoses medical conditions. Now, under the original timeline, if you deployed a high risk AI system, you'd need to meet strict requirements by August 2026. Things like data quality standards, human oversight, and detailed documentation. Now, companies that already have these systems running could get a full year to adjust without facing penalties. And on top of that, transparency requirements for general purpose AI models, think ChatGPT or Claude, would stay in place, but fines for violations wouldn't kick in until August 2027. The logic here is that the EU's own guidance has been delayed and inconsistent. Code of practice for general purpose AI was supposed to drop in May 2025, but didn't come out until July. Some guidance on banned AI systems was literally published 2 days after those rules took effect. So Brussels is basically saying, we didn't give you clear enough rules fast enough. So here's more time. But this is also happening because the pressure campaign from big tech has been massive. Tech companies now spend about 151 million euros per year lobbying in Brussels, up 50% from 4 years ago. So here's what you need to keep an eye on November the 19th, the big date, as that's when the Commission formally proposes this simplification package. But that's just step one. After that, it needs approval from the majority of EU member states and the European Parliament, and both could push back or demand changes. Political dynamics are tricky here. Some countries want to stay tough on big tech, while others are worried about falling behind the US and China in AI competitiveness. You should also watch for how the Trump administration responds. US Vice President JD Vance already warned at the Paris AI Summit in February that excessive regulation could kill the AI industry. And if Brussels gives ground here, Washington might push for even more concessions. And finally, track what individual companies do. Meta refused to sign the voluntary AI code of practice. Google signed it. And that split tells you these companies are making different bets about what comes next. So first thing you should do if you're deploying AI in the EU, don't assume that this delay is final. Keep working on compliance for the original August 2026 deadline until you see formal confirmation from Brussels and know it's been approved by member states. Banking on a delay that doesn't materialize could cost you massively. Second, Pay attention to the November 19th decision and how your competitors are also responding. If you're building high risk AI systems, this might give you extra time to refine your governance processes a little better, so use it if you get the chance. Third, understand that regulatory uncertainty is now the new normal. The AI Act was supposed to provide clarity. Instead, we're seeing the rules get rewritten in real time based on political pressure, so factor that into your strategic planning going forward. So thanks again for tuning in to AI Governance Engineering with myself, Gavin, and I shall speak to you again soon.